In the prison, he wasn't allowed to study anything. I mean, no books, no pen, no papers, nothing. So I was trying to learn English. So I had to use soap to write letters every day, like 3 letters every day. So I was in sec block. Then when I had to hide the soap from the shower, bring it back to my cell, and hide it in the room, because if they found it, they would take it away, and it will be punishment if they found it. So I had to use the soap on the door, writing the words every day, and like 3 letters a day. Then, when I heard the guards talking, so I asked the brothers who speaks English what the meaning in Arabic. So when they tell me the meaning, so I have to write it and with the meaning. So, I have to write every day 3 words at least. So that's how I learned English. So, yeah, so I had to put some water on the soap and stick it underneath the door. So when they open the door, they won't see it. When I come back, I have to take it out and continue. So that's how, learn English. Yeah. Yeah, when first we got to Guantánamo, it was in Camp X-ray. So in Camp X-ray, the guards was insulting us. If the person, even if you don't understand the language, when he's talking to you, from his face that if he's insulting or not. So they were using the N-word and F-word when they always calling me. And I didn't know the meaning. So I asked the brothers. That was one of the first words, I learned in Guantánamo. So I had to ask the brothers, why he doesn't call you? Why he's calling me the N-word? Then they say, okay, because of this and that. So now I understand. So every time when I heard them calling me the N-word, I had to prepare a surprise for them to stop them calling me N-word. So that was one of the, first letters, or first words. Yeah. Yeah, it was so nice that so many people sent me books when I was there. And a lot of books came and message from people who was supporting me to keep me hope, to keep my hope up. It was really nice, and I would like to thank them all. So, yeah, thank you. So when they took us to Guantánamo, the first, let's say, 6 months, we didn't know where we are. Then when we asked everybody, no one giving us answer. We were just guessing. Maybe Bahrain, maybe Oman, because it's like some people say it's a similar weather. But later, somebody said this is Cuba. When I heard Cuba, I was like, what is Cuba? Because I'm not good on geographic. So somebody said, it's Guantánamo. What is Guantánamo? Then somebody said, okay, this is, Caribbean, close to America. And I said, okay, we're in America. And then I was happy. If it's America, I will get justice, because that's what I know about America. But later, there's no justice. They said, there's no justice for you, there's no law for you. So that was, yeah, that's what happened. After I got released, I started reading about, slavery and how that thing happened. Then I went to visit one of the slave port, and I saw the cell, and I saw the prison, the way they were taking people, and I saw the shackles, everything. And it's like similar was my story, because they took us, by force, and we didn't know where we're going. The same thing, they didn't know where they're going. And, the shackle they shackled us is a similar shackles, and it was terrible thing. And you don't know where you're going, and you don't know why you're going. So it was, it was a similar thing. And I saw the rooms and how the small, the room, and there's no way to, to air to come in. And so I was thinking, I was like, wow, man, this is still happening. I mean, we in like 2000 something, and slavery still happened, but in a different way, but it's still the same thing. So I was like sad,
Good evening. My name is Dwan Reese, and I am the Associate Director of Curatorial Affairs here at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I joined the museum in 2009 and served as the Curator of Music and Performing Arts for 12 years. My work as a witness always deals with the powerful message the arts can deliver about the pursuit of social justice and human rights. This program, I Have Something to Say, is part of an ongoing series of groundbreaking exhibitions and performances in which Laurie Anderson explores storytelling through video, installation, painting, performance, and other media. We are honored to welcome Laurie and to welcome all of you back to the museum and to the Oprah Winfrey Theater tonight. This is the first public program that the museum has hosted in person in more than 2 years, and we are especially excited to share this momentous occasion with several of our sister museums across the institution: the Anacostia Community Museum, the National Museum of African Art, and the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Melissa Chu, who has led the Hirshhorn as its director since 2014. During her tenure, she has revitalized the Hirshhorn's campus, overseen significant visitor increases, both in person and digitally, and inspired collaboration across the institution, including evenings like this one. We are grateful to have her as a leader at the Smithsonian and to have her with us tonight. Please join me in welcoming Melissa Chu.
Thank you, Twandalin. What a delight it is to be with you tonight. My name is Melissa Chu, and I'm director of the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden, our National Museum of Modern Art, and it's a great delight to be with you here tonight for this very important conversation. Our exhibition, Laurie Anderson, The Weather, has received now nearly 375,000 visitors. And it seemed a little bit like a natural occurrence to work with Laurie on a number of programs for the duration of her exhibition. Her exhibition is the largest ever US exhibition of her work. It showcases her many creative talents, including as a storyteller, as an artist, a writer, a musician, a performer, and so much more. One of the key works from this exhibition is Harbius Corpus, which you saw a clip of just now. You'll hear more about this work tonight. This work, among many others in the exhibition, highlights the power of art to bring to life the most important and often challenging and overlooked aspects of our world. It has been a privilege to work with Laurie and Mohammed El Gharani to feature this important project on the National Mall and to bring you all together this evening. I'd like to extend my special thanks to Kevin Young and Dwandalin Reese here at the team of the National Museum of African American History and Culture for hosting us this evening. My thanks also go to Naira Blankenberg and the National Museum of African Art and their team, and Melanie Adams of the Anacostia Community Museum for their support and partnership across the Smithsonian Institution for this evening. We don't often have the opportunity to bring together so many Smithsonian museums for a single event. And it's a true testament to the power of Mohammed's story that we're all gathered here tonight. I wish to extend my deepest gratitude to Mohammed El Gharani, Laurie Anderson, and Kweku Mandela for being with us. Finally, my thanks go to Marina Isgro, our Hirshhorn curator of the Laurie Anderson The Weather exhibition. Before I turn it over to Laurie, Kweku, and Mohammed, I'd like to say a few words about Laurie Anderson. She's best known for her music and performance, having topped the charts for her 1981 single, Oh Superman. And most recently, she's been awarded a Grammy for her album Landfall in collaboration with Kronos Quartet. She's an artist and a writer. Among her many accolades, she was the first artist in residence at NASA. But above all, she's a storyteller. She tells stories about life, and she often finds unique opportunities to highlight the voices of the unheard or oppressed. Laurie will also introduce Kweku this evening in conversation with Mohammed. Now to introduce us to the story that we're all here tonight to hear, please join me in welcoming Laurie Anderson.
Here we go. Thanks, Melissa. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to join us this evening. I guess this is the first live event in 2 years, which is sort of ironic that it's a streaming event with our friend Mohammed Gharani, who's going to join us in a minute. But Kweku, please say hello as well.
Hey, everyone.
Kweku Mandela.
We're all happy to be back. And, you know, I've been able to see this project and this passion that you've had to get Mohammed's story out there from its inception. And so I'm just really grateful that we can have him here with us tonight and that he can share, you know, with the people of DC.
Yeah, we're going to, this is a big dream of mine because there's Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed. Can you hear us? Yes.
Hi, yes, can hear you.
Hello, Mohammed.
Good evening, everyone.
I wish you could see the audience here. Just wave to them anyway. Yeah, okay. There they are. We're so happy you could join us. Can you tell us, first of all, where you are tonight?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm speaking to you guys from Nigeria, Kano, Africa. So yeah, that's what I'm speaking from.
Yeah. And so I want you to just, if you would, go back a little bit in time to tell your story of how you got to Guantánamo. And I know some people here are familiar with that story, but when we first began to collaborate, I realized that you're such a wonderful storyteller and that you have so many things to say. So I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about, go back to your boyhood for a second and tell us how you got to Guantánamo.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Gharani, and I was born in Saudi Arabia, and you know, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. My parents actually from Chad, Africa, so they moved to Saudi for a better life. So when I grew up in Saudi, it was difficult for us to go to school like Saudis because we are not Saudis. You know, rules in Saudi, if you're born in Saudi, in parents not Saudi, you are not Saudi. It's not like America or some other countries. So we had the difficulty of going to normal school like every kid. So I have a friend from Pakistan and who advised me to go and learn computer and English in Pakistan. You know, Medina is a holy city. We have visitors from all over the world coming for a program of Hajj or Umrah, and mostly they speak English. And you know, English is like a world-speaking language. So it was a good idea for me to learn English and computer. So I went to Pakistan in 2001, right before 9/11. So when 9/11 happened, I was in Pakistan. So there is a mosque that we always go because the imam who's Arab, so all the khutbah or the Jummah prayer is in Arabic. So we used to go there. So one day after the Jummah, the mosque was surrounded, police and army looking for Arabs. Because after 9/11, being an Arab in Pakistan is like a hot cake. They're everybody looking for Arabs. So I was 16 years old back then. So when they arrested everybody, they speaking to us in English and Urdu, and which I don't understand Urdu. My English back then was not that good, but I understood some of the questions. Where are you from? And what are you doing here? I was like, I came from Saudi. So they were, okay, you are part of Arab. I'm not Arab, I'm African, man, but I lived in Saudi. I was born in Saudi. So they say, okay, they took me to one of the police station. Then we were moved from police station to another police station for 20 days, and we don't know what is happening. So in the last days in Pakistan, some Americans, I believe Americans, CIA came to Pakistan, and they were questioning us, asking questions. What are you doing in Pakistan? And all this was in Karachi, actually. So we were telling, I was telling them, what I in Pakistan for. So they were like, no, you are lying. We are looking for Bin Laden. We are looking for Qaeda. I was like, what are you talking about, man? What is Bin Laden? What is Qaeda? So they said, no, you are not telling us the truth. We're going to take you someplace. Then you will tell us the truth. So after 20 days in Pakistan, I was taken to Kandahar, Afghanistan, by Americans, and I spent almost 1 month in Kandahar, at Kandahar airport, under American soldiers and. So after 1 month in Kandahar, Afghanistan, I was sent to Guantanamo, and that was in 2001 February. So, they never told us where we're going to, and they just took us in the plane and they cover our ear and our eyes. And it was long, long, trip. It's almost 21 hours. We went to different airports before we reached Guantanamo. So when we reached Guantanamo, we don't know we are in Guantanamo. No one told us where we're going to because there is no, boarding pass or passport or anything like that. It's like mafia work. It's like just you never know where you're going to, and you never know why all this happening to you. So when we got to Guantanamo Bay, it was a long night. We were being beaten, and we were told if we speak or say anything, they will kill us, and we should just cooperate and tell them the truth. I was like, what truth, man? Like, what are we doing in Afghanistan? I never been to Afghanistan. You are the one took me to Kandahar. And anyway, so
I mean, we'll try and get him back.
Yeah.
Laurie, how did you find out about Mohammed's story, and what made you feel compelled to create this project in the first place?
Well,
hello,
here
hello.
he is. Okay, you're back. We thought we lost you for
Yeah.
a second. Yeah.
It's a long story. It's a long story, man. I don't know which part of the story you want.
You were just telling us about when you got to Guantanamo.
And you
So,
told
so
us
okay.
that.
So after a few days in Guantanamo, we never know we are in Guantanamo. We never know we're in Cuba. And I never know where is Cuba. It's my first time, being there. And nobody told us we're in Guantanamo or Cuba. So one of the soldiers, the guards, they were telling us, do you know where you are? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm in some, hot place because Afghanistan was very cold when we were in Afghanistan during, I think, January. So now we are in a different place. I never know where we are. We were just guessing. Some people were saying we're in Oman. Some people were saying we're in Kuwait. We never know. So, then one of the soldiers told us, no, man, you're in Guantanamo. I was like, what is Guantanamo, man? Oh, you're in Ireland. Like, okay. And you people are terrorists, worst of the worst. You never go out of this place. We will question you, and if you don't cooperate, I say, what's the meaning of cooperation that you are looking for, man? Tell us the truth. I'm telling you the truth. No, you are not. You are lying. You are not telling us the truth. Tell them the truth, then they will let you go. I was like, all right. Then the first days we can't sit down, we can't lay down, we can't sit down, we can't walk. We were in the cages like a zoo, and everybody by themselves. So we were not allowed to speak to each other. We were not allowed to talk to the guards. We're not even allowed to smile. If you smile, they will come and beat you. And back then my English was not that good, so I was hearing the guards just calling me N-word, N-word with the F-word. And I was like, I asked one of the detainees, I was like, what's the meaning of these two words? And he didn't want to tell me. He said, no, don't worry about them. And I asked somebody else, and he said, oh, okay, the meaning of the N word and the F word. I was like, all right. And from the beginning, I wasn't uh, I wasn't silent. I was fighting back. They broke one of my tooth. I always shout on them, and I was never quiet. So, they took me to an interrogation room, and the interrogator came and asking me questions. When last time you have seen Osama bin Laden? I was like, last night, man. What are you talking about? Who is Osama bin Laden? You people asking me about him in Pakistan, Kandahar, and here. I don't know who is Osama bin Laden. You were with Osama bin Laden. You were with Al Qaeda. And you know what we are talking about. And I was like, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. And if you want to me to say I know Osama bin Laden, I will say I know Osama bin Laden. In fact, maybe he's my brother. So we were tired because when you're beating up a cat and they put the cat in the corner, the cat will start attacking you. So from the beginning, I was afraid, yes, but later on, I was like, what they gonna do, man? Because everything happening already, torture, beating me up, put me in prison. So I started fighting, resisting. So I was telling them, what are you gonna do, man? They put me in segregation room for of 30 days, then another 30 days. So I was in an orange suit all the time. So from Camp Iguana, that was the first camp I was in. Then from Camp Iguana, we were moved to Camp Delta. Camp Delta is a little better than Camp Iguana because we have real toilet. Camp X-ray, there is no toilet. We were using a bucket for the toilet, and there is no water. They give you water if they feel like. So Camp Delta is a little bit different. It's like you have your own toilet in your cell. When they moved us to Camp Delta, I thought these are the toilets for the prison because, it's like a toilet with the small in a small room. So when I enter, I ask the guards when I'm going to the jail or to my cell. He's like, this is your cell. I was like, this is a toilet, man. This is what you're gonna be, because nobody allowed to go out from their cell unless you are going to recreation or going to see your interrogation. So it was rough. It was everything was bad. I thought and when I was in Guantanamo, seeing Americans and American flag, I was like, man, I will get justice, man. Now this is not Kandahar anymore, and now treatment will be checked, and these people will listen to me, and everything will be all right. But it was worse than Kandahar. It was worse than Pakistan. So everything continues, and we all said no, man. If these people don't allow us to pray, we will pray because even if you stand up to pray, they will come and beat you up. So it was not easy, and I can't go to the details of the tortures because it's really painful.
You know, Mohammed will be back in a second. I just wanted to say that when I first met you, Mohammed, you said, I have a story to tell.
Yeah, so,
And that you
yeah,
wanted
tell
to,
me.
sorry, and that you wanted to talk to your American brothers and sisters. And so as I'm hearing you tell the story and watching the people here, I'm just feeling that happening after all this time. And I wanted to ask you, you know, because you're so articulate, telling your own story, but in the midst of these other huge stories that are being spun of, you know, the story of the people who are looking for you in the beginning, they're looking for Saudis. That's the story. Saudis, we have to get Saudis. So that was one story. And the second was in 9/11. As you said, everyone's told these are the worst of the worst guys, the worst of the worst. So that's the other next level of the story. And then we look at your story versus the story told by the US government of your life, and you see two wildly different stories. And who's believing what and why? And we live in a country that we think of as, you know, in an era of information, and sometimes we realize that the information we get is very, very flawed and just from one point of view. So I just wanted to say, when I met you, I saw, I mean, I can never really picture how a boy could go through all of that stuff. And I always wanted to ask you how you managed to do that, where you found the nerve, like when you made that phone call also. I want you to tell that story to Al Jazeera.
Yeah, you know.
That's crazy. That was crazy.
Yes, I understand you. Yeah, you know, from the beginning, there is one of the brothers called Shakir. I mean, brothers, prisoners, we call each other brothers because we are really brothers. So he was advising me, he was telling me, look, man, these people, the main goal is to break you down. Don't let them break you down. And stay strong and always smile. That's what I did. And you know, as a Muslim, as a believer, I memorized the Holy Quran, the whole Quran, and I was reciting the Quran in the prison all the time. So Shakir told us that even I named my oldest boy after him. I named my boy Shakir after that Shakir because that Shakir is our hero. And you know, I know that if I be annoyed or I be sad, that's what they want. So I was always like, you know, I never give up, and I always stand up for the right. I don't care what's going to happen because I believe if I don't stand up for my right and I don't stand up for what I believe, you know, I will lose my mind, and that's what they want. And you know, it was not easy. I was 16 and I'm black. And one of the interrogators told me, look, your main issue here, you're African boy. You are not from US, you are not from Europe. Who cares? Nobody will come on here and help you or take you out. If you were European, you will never be here. Or if you are American, you'll never be here. So, you know, and all these things they are saying, they want to break me down. They want me to go on to my cell and cry, which I never do. I tell them, look, Allah will take me out of this prison. Not my citizenship, not being a black. And Allah did, because when they took me to Camp 5, you know, Camp 5, it was a real building. You know, all Camp Delta, Camp Iguana, and all these, they were not a building with a cement, and they were not real building. But when they took me to Camp 5, they took only 100 people. I was among them. You know, those 100, they picked them. They did not just take them randomly. They picked them because they said, these 100, they are stubborn. They're the one making troubles. They are the troublemakers. They were calling me as a troublemaker. So they said, these are people that we never get any information out of them. I don't know what information they are talking about. These the one we have to break them down and take them there. You know, we were almost 700 people in Guantanamo, but they took only 100 out of the 700. I was one of them. So when they took me to Camp 5, the first day in Camp 5, you know, the interrogator took me to his interrogation room and told me, look, it's a real war, real building. This is not Camp X-ray. This is not Camp Delta. This is Camp 5. We build this for people who will stay here forever and never go home. And he said, look, and we throw the key to the ocean. And I told him, Allah created the ocean. He will bring the key out. I will be out of this prison one day. And he told me, one day, my son or my grandson will come and ask you questions if you don't be cooperating with me. I say, look, what cooperation you are talking about? He said, look, we are not looking for small fish. We are looking for big fish. I said, look, I'm not even fish. So go look for big fish somewhere else or small fish somewhere else. I'm not even fish. I'm Mohammed Gharani. So, you know, all these things, you know, when you stand up and speak of the truth and speak of what you believe, definitely they don't like that. But, you know, if you don't stand up and fight for your rights, you never get it. When I was in Guantanamo, I know when they want to punish some of the guards, they will tell them, we're going to send you to Camp Charlie or Bravo, where we were before, or even the segregation. Because if he comes there, we the one ruling the prison. Because I told them, what I'm going to lose, man? I got no job, I got no money, I got nothing to lose. That's what I tell them. So, you know, when you being difficult and you take it like a joke and you be funny, the things will be easier for you and you will not, you know, continuously suffer. But when you in trouble and you still thinking, or how I'm gonna be out of this prison, or when I'm gonna be out of this prison, I believe before I was even born, God put something for me in Guantanamo. I have to go there and eat and come out. That's what I believe. So this is my belief. This is my faith. I believe whatever happened, it's already been written. So it's better for me to just take it easy, not thinking, because thinking never opened my door for me and go home.
Mohammed, when did
If I
you?
keep thinking when I'm gonna go, sorry, I talk for a long time. Ask questions if you
No,
want to
I
ask.
just wanted to ask you, when were you released from Guantanamo, and what was
I
your
was
life
released
like
in
after that?
2011. I was released in 2009, I guess. I think 2009, June 10th. That was when I was released. But you know, I was ordered by court for my release. You know that I'm innocent. They have to send me home as soon as possible. That was in January 14th. But you know, because I'm like born in Saudi, but not Saudi. And when a Chadian, they told them about me, they said, I'm not a Chadian. So I was like, I'm lost because Saudis, they said, I'm not a Saudi because my parents are not Saudi. You know, Saudi, if you lived in Saudi 50 years, your parents are not from Saudi, you're not a Saudi, you know? So, and Chadian also, they said, okay, not a Chadian. So it was difficult for me where to go. So after 6 months, then Chadian said, okay, the Chadian, let's take it. After 6 months of the court order, I meant. Yeah.
And how did you end up meeting Laurie and deciding that you wanted to work with her to tell your story?
Yeah, you know, I'm happy to know Laurie. She's a really strong lady. She's a very good one, good with heart. She's a very nice. I met her through Reprieve, I think, first time. She came to Ghana. We met in Ghana, and that was the first time I met her. You know, I left Chad, and I've been to almost 14 countries in Africa, man. So I met her in Ghana, first time.
I remember telling you about this project, and I was saying, well, because you're not allowed to come to the United States, because we don't allow Guantanamo detainees to come to this country, how could this story happen? So I said, and I had done this project a couple of times in a couple of different ways, but I said, Mohammed, what I'd like you to do is we're going to build I'd like to build a studio in Ghana, where you are, and you will sit very still for a long time, and we will have video cameras on you, and we will beam your image across the Atlantic onto a statue the size of the Lincoln Memorial in New York City, and this was 2015, and you will be like a living statue. So you'll be here, and you can actually have, and people will come and be able to see you live, like now, except you're not a living statue. Anyway, and you said, I thought, oh, he's going to think this is so crazy. Oh, did we lose him? Yeah. Okay, we're going to try to find him. But anyway, as I was explaining this to Mohammed, we were in a little room in Ghana. He'll be back in a sec. And I set up this, the way it would be with projecting a person onto a statue. And I said, except really big. And I was thinking, this sounds so insane. And Mohammed said, oh, yeah, tell me more how that would work. I was like, whoa, I'm talking to a person who is really curious, as you can see, you know. We'll find him again. So anyway, we built this big studio in Ghana, and we got a crew to work with us there. And then the U.S. crew, we built this statue, and we put it in the Park Avenue Armory, and it was live with lots of mirror balls and things. And you know how you always know, because you're in the 21st century, where the security cameras are. You know, like you're in an underground parking lot, you know, oh, there's one there, one there, one there, or where they are in cities. We had it set up so that Mohammed's was adjusting his body onto the statue, and a camera way up in the ceiling gave him that feedback so that he could, and we're also talking to him, Mohammed, move your left small finger to adjust the projection to the sculpture. Okay, so it's this 2 or 3D thing. And so people gradually realized that if they stood in front of the projected image, that he would be able to see them. And people by that point had been given a lot of information about his case, about his story, and they felt that they knew him. They knew what that the U.S. government case was no case, whatsoever, and this boy had been tortured in Guantanamo, and then they just kind of let him go. So anyway, all of these people who came to see him stood in front of the statue, and they brought signs, and they brought guitars. They played for him. They danced for him. They were like, yes, Mohammed, hello, I know who you are. And, it was, and a lot of people we didn't have an audio feed, so they just kind of went, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, as Americans, we think we get this, are getting all this great information about who we are, what we're doing in the world. We're not. We're just not. And we're very proud of our information society and our journalistic abilities. We're missing many of the stories in the world through our binoculars, our really strange ones, the really strange ones. So I thought, rather than trying to reinterpret that, I would just try to make a channel for someone Here he is again. Oh, he's back. Here he comes. Because he tells his story better than anybody. And okay. Here we. Hi again. Hello. Yay. Anyway, we're glad to see you back. We were just talking a little bit about how we met. And also, you know, I want you to just describe to a trip that you and I made to some of the slave castles along the Gold Coast, because that, to me, that really changed my life to go with you there, because it was in many ways such an ancient route from Africa to the Caribbean, which was the route of the Guantánamo prisoners as well, detainees. And so going to those slave castles is a little bit like the experience I had in this museum today in the lower levels. This is someday when you come here, you'll come and see this amazing museum, the National Museum of African American History.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I want you to just talk a little bit about that trip, because you know we got to go and see those places.
Yeah, you know, when I visited Ghana, I went to Cape Coast, and I saw that prison they used for slavery. And I was sitting down on the ocean, and I remember Guantanamo on the other side. You know, it's like the same thing, like similar, with a little bit similar than what happened to us. We were taken by force. You know, nobody asked us, you know, please come, we have a trip to Guantanamo. We were kidnapped. You know, slavery also, they kidnapped them. They never know where they're going to. And we were being sold by money, because Pakistanis, you know, they collect $5,000 per each person. So also slavery, they bought them from, you know, from Africans. So, and also we were taken to the same direction, which is Caribbean. We were in Guantanamo. So, you know, and me being black, also I was insulted by so many words, like, you know, the N word, the F word, you know, and even the interrogation telling me that if you are a kid, you're underage. If you were like European or white boy with the blue eyes and blonde hair, you never be here. You know, all these things like remind us what really happened to Africans before, and you know, and it's still happening. People still come with their power, and still people from country take them by force to whatever they want to take them to, and nobody questioned them, nobody asked them, nobody take them to court, nobody asked them why you did that. It was wrong what you did. You know, they are free now. They are heroes if they come to whatever party or whatever, you know, national or whatever. They nobody talk about it. What, you know, is whatever happened bad to human being is bad. It doesn't matter to who or to whom or the race or which country he's coming from. That's what I believe. You know, I believe we all same. It doesn't matter you are black or white or brown or whatever. So you know, that's what reminds me, and you know, and I always try to speak up and tell people what is happening, and that's what I did, talking to Al Jazeera from Guantanamo. You know, I'm the first one, and I was able to talk to Al Jazeera from inside Guantanamo, from inside the jail. And it was not easy. And I know if I do that, maybe something will happen, but I still did it. And a lot of people still up to now, they don't know how I did it, and how I did it, and they believe what's in the media. You know, when you open now in YouTube and write the mess in the camp, you know, in Arabic, al-fawda ta'amul mu'taqal, meaning the mess in the camp, you will hear the phone call Mohammed al-Gharani to Al Jazeera, but they think that I was trying to call to the family, but I instead called Al Jazeera. They don't know how that happened. And let me tell you something here. I think the first time, I told you before, but I'm telling again, it was help from the guards themselves. The guards in Guantanamo did not want what is happening in Guantanamo. Not all of them. Most of them, they disagree of what's happening, but they cannot do anything about it. So I always talking to them. I say, look, man, I know that you cannot do anything about what's happening. Just help me to give the food and let me speak. Let me talk to someone. And he was like, "You put me in trouble." I said, "Up to today, you know, uh, he's all. I mean, I never mentioned his name, but I'm telling you guys today, he's the one. Give me the phone. I spoke to the Jazeera. I called Samuel Hajj. I got his number. I called Samuel Hajj, and he's surprised. He say, "What are you calling from?" I say, "I'm in Kamiguana." You know, that come after the court release. The court release came in June, January 14th. So I was moved to Kamiguana before I was released. So Kamiguana is not segregation anymore. I was wearing white. I was living like normal. You know, it's not like 7 years I spent in the other camp. So Kamiguana is like more or less like you at the beach, you know, relaxing. But I never think of myself. I know that I'm going home. I know that they're about to release me, but it's not me, myself. It's what's happening to other people. That's why I made the decision to call Al Jazeera. It's not just me leaving home, going out of the prison. No, if for these people who's behind bars in Guantanamo up to today. So I'm speaking to you guys today to remind you people, there is still people.
Oh. We'll be back, I'm sure, in a second, but still, I
Still
mean, what
people,
Mohammed,
still
oh,
people in
there you are again,
Guantanamo.
okay.
Guantanamo is still open. Guantanamo is still open, and if they are really criminal, why they don't bring them to the court?
Yeah.
If they are not criminal, send them home. It's simple. You know, America is based on democracy. America is based on justice. If this is true, if this is the reality, this is now enough is enough. They've been there getting to how long? It's getting to 20 years. Send them home if they are not, if they are innocent. If not, send them to jail. Not just call them detainees for 20 years. You know, we are in 21st century and this is still happening. So when I called Al Jazeera, Samuel Hajj picked the call. I told him I'm calling from Kamiguana. I told him after Obama, things is still difficult. They are still torturing us. They are still spraying us with the pepper spray. They are still doing whatever they do. So please, Samuel Hajj, bring my voice out. Let people hear. I never know it will be a big thing. So Sami, they put it on a screen, Al Jazeera screen. 2 weeks later, the colonel came. They called me that I have to go and see the colonel. So when I went to the room, he was sitting in the room, very angry, and shouting on me. And you know what you did? I was like, what did I do? He said, you spoke to Al Jazeera. Don't act like stupid. I was like, yes, I did. Spoke to Al Jazeera. Even now, if you give me a call, I will call Al Jazeera again. I say, whatever you do here, it will be out. People will know. I say, listen, I'm not a quiet person. I will make noise. I will tell people what you people doing here. Whatever you do here, it will be out, and people will know. So that was the Al Jazeera call. I want to tell you guys about it.
It's one of the great stories of all time of a prisoner, a boy who decides to try to get a phone and call a major newspaper and say, Obama said he would do this and he's not doing it. Who does that? Mohammed al-Gharani did that. So, and as he pointed out, here you are again, that the guards did help him do this. And also, when you were telling the story of the guard who, at great risk to himself, taught you English.
Yes, there is good people in American army.
Yes.
There is good people. And they don't want what's happening there. But they cannot do anything about it. It's a big game. It's above all their head. It's something they cannot do anything about it. And that's the most painful. You know, when you see what's happening and you cannot do anything about it, and you cannot even talk about it, because if you talk about it, they also take you off your job. You know, we are in a big game and with the big people. So I call them big dogs. They all call them big dogs. It's a big game with the big dogs. They told me, the interrogator told me one day, look, we know you are innocent. We know you never been to Afghanistan. We know you never joined any terrorist group, but we cannot do anything because we never tell you sorry. You know, up to now, I'm out of Guantanamo getting to 12 years. I never get sorry from American government. They never say whatever we did to you, it was wrong. They never say that to me. What happened was, okay, go home, send him home. That's all. And after Guantanamo, Guantanamo became like a stigma. You know, every time I want to talk about Guantanamo, I have to be in a secret room with nobody, you know, around, only my family. I'm afraid to talk to people about Guantanamo because the image of being in Guantanamo to people is like, okay, if you're not terrorists, why are you being there in the first place? You know, people ask stupid questions sometimes. If I was a terrorist, why am I free, man? If I was a terrorist, why I'm home? If we were bad people in Guantanamo, why they did not take us to court? Why? Why not? Take me to court. Tell me whatever I did exactly what you know. We were almost 1,000 people in Guantanamo. Now, how many people remain in Guantanamo? If we were worst of the worst, what happened to those people? The worst of the worst. What happened to them? They released them. They're all, you know, in their countries because it was a big game. It was a big game. If little group done something, whatever they believe that they done, you can't judge everybody. You can't judge all Muslims. You can't judge. You just take people and kidnap them, and now you just send them home. You know. So anyway,
Yeah.
crazy world.
Yeah.
I think, you know, something that I've always noticed that was so unique about Mohammed, and I'm interested to know if you've felt this, is he's never displayed any anger towards the people that did this to him. You know, he's always kept this kind of youthful exuberance and love for life and people and humanity. And you see it, you know, as he talks to us today. He's able to laugh at these things. You know, he's able to smile with us. And, you know, often that's not the case, particularly when your freedom's taken away.
Well, I've also seen you cry. So,
No, I couldn't hear him well.
Oh, yeah.
Can you repeat what he said, please?
well, that what a good sense of humor you have that seems to help you, and what a sense of justice you have also. When you're talking about talking to the big dogs, it's such a good thing for us to hear because it's very inspiring to hear that you stood up and said something. And I think that's getting more and more rare, to stand up to the big dogs and say, well, you know, especially now. And also I think your ability to have a generosity towards people was the most moving thing to me, that you were able to see that it's not so simple, you know, even though these stories are almost like cartoons. You know, I remember one of those crazy crazy stories you were telling me about. One of the, maybe some of you who've seen this show know this one of a detainee who tells his guard, his interrogator, that he saw that there was a submarine that came to rescue. He had a dream that the submarine came to rescue the guys in Guantanamo. And the next night, Guantanamo Bay is covered with helicopters and ships and searchlights looking for the submarine. This is a dark dream, Guantanamo, a hallucination of fear and misinformation and insanity, but fear. And I think, Mohammed, you could see how afraid people are, even and lift them up by just being able not to be. I've also seen you be angry though, and your anger is fierce. And I've also seen you cry, and it tears my heart up, you know. So you're one of the most wonderful, complex people I've ever met. So I just am so happy to get to invite you to this evening tonight, and I think we also have some questions.
Thank you.
Some questions, right? That we were going
No,
to.
I'm so happy to meet a grandson of Mandela. I never thought I will
Yeah,
one day.
you should talk about
and
that
this
day.
is my pleasure, seriously speaking, honestly speaking, to meet Mandela's grandson is like a dream for me, and I'm happy to meet him because such a man like him, it was a big lesson for us, and I was always listening to his YouTube and to, I was not at the age when he was alive, but YouTube is everything there. So I was always watching him and listening to him, And there is no reason to have a hate. There is no reason to hate people. But, you can fight people with love. When they see you that you are not a person that you hate people and you always want people have the peace and that's what you go. You will win one day. You become a president of the country after 27 years being in jail. And who will believe when he was in a jail that you will become not even a prison, maybe not even a president, maybe working in a government in South Africa. No one believed that, but he became a president, the head of the state of South Africa. I'm really happy to meet him, and thank you for arranging this for me. Really, I'll never forget.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I know some of the audience has questions for you, so we're going to allow them to ask you, and then we'll tell you what they are.
All right.
Of course.
Okay.
So the first question is, what's next for the Habeas Corpus work? Where will you be taking it next, and what will you be doing with it? It's for both of you.
Wow.
Is it for me or Laurie?
Well, let's make a plan. I think there should be a habeas corpus thing on the National Mall, frankly. But your story is one that we all need to be reminded of. We don't have a plan yet, but I'd like you to talk a little bit about what's next for you, because I know it's been so challenging for you to find a place. And we're hoping that Morocco is the place, and we'll see. How is that going? Your plan to perhaps go to Morocco?
Yeah, we're still, working on it. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
And, I want to say something here. The whole thing about Guantanamo and why they choose Guantanamo. I told one of the interrogators, look, he told me that, I told him, I want a lawyer. He's like, there's no lawyer here. I was like, okay, this is America law. You can't speak without lawyer. He said, no, you are not in America, so you won't get lawyer. I said, okay, what am I? Say, you're in Guantanamo. Okay, there is a country. Yeah, it's part of Cuba. So I need Cuban lawyer. There's no lawyer, man. I say, okay, you people did what's in the Quran. God told Jewish, don't fish on Saturday. So they throw the net on Friday, and they go to fish on Sunday. They say, we never fish on Saturday. So you people did that, so you be away, or you never, nobody can take you to court or run, we can't do anything. So you like playing game with us, taking us to a place, part of land, is not U.S., it's not part of Cuba, like Cuba people, they cannot do anything about it. So you can do whatever you want. That's why they were able to do whatever they want to do, And for first 3-4 years, for first 3 years, there is no lawyers in Guantanamo. They were not able to lawyer to come to Guantanamo up to 2004. And in 2004, lawyers start coming. Then they're telling us about Habeas Corpus and, trying to go to court. And, so they took time to do whatever they want to do, to torture, any type of torture they want to, do to us. Then, okay, now it's time for the lawyer to come and go Guantanamo. So it is a game, and I don't know where we're going with the Habeas Corpus, but, like you said, we are trying to find a place. I've been trying to find a place to live with peace of mind for 12 years now. I'm out of Guantanamo 2009. We are in 2022. So I've been place to place, country to country, which is not easy, but we will fight, we will get it one day.
Mention was made of slavery and the similarities between your experience and that of enslaved Africans. In America, black people historically have been asked to figure that they're enslaved, the people who enslaved them and developed a system of segregation should be open to a discussion, yet there is no accountability or reparations. How do you feel about this, and who should be held accountable for what they did to you?
You know, it's a tough question, but repeat the last part of the question, please.
The question is, how do you feel about slavery in America and the conversation around reparations and justice?
Slavery is bad everywhere. Slavery is bad everywhere. And you know, I've never been to America, but through the media, I see the TV and what happened and what's still happening. You know, I think black people, they the one have to stand up and stick together to get the right. Because if you wait somebody to give you a right, you never get it. You have to fight for your own right. You know, if you fight for your own rights, you get it. But if you wait for white people to give you rights, you never get it. When you stand up for it, you will get it. And I think it's everywhere. And when I was even in Guantanamo, I was polite, not resisting, not fighting, quiet, not doing anything. But things getting worse and worse day after day. But when I stood up, fighting back, never give up, telling the truth, I saw the other face of the treatment I was getting. So this is the fact, it's everywhere. If you want your right, fight for it, you will get it. Not today, not tomorrow, but you will get it. I spent 7 years of my life in Guantanamo. But you know, when I sit down and think what the benefit I got from Guantanamo and the experience and all this that I got from Guantanamo, if I never been to Guantanamo, I never been even talking to you. So bad things happen for reason. And when you take it and you stand up and you speak for it, you get your right. I think that's part of the question you asked of how I feel black people being treated in America. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the second half of that question was, who should be held accountable for what happened to you?
You know, definitely American government at that time. You know, Bush and his administration, they're the one kidnapped us and took us to Guantanamo. They're the one give order for everything happened to us is Bush and his administration. You know, and they just leave it open. Even guards, they were hiding their names. You know, you never know names, but you know, it's Bush and his administration. They're the one, American government. They're the one took us and tortured us and did whatever they did. But nobody can take them to court because they are, you know, you cannot touch them. They can do whatever they want and they go without any, you know, anything happen to them. I think American government.
I want to say that the letter that you wrote and that you gave me to give to Joe Biden, I did give it to Joe Biden. And now I haven't heard from Joe, but the thing is, you wrote an incredibly beautiful letter, and it was about accountability. And it just said, you know, I'm not asking you for a pardon, and here's the slippery thing. You can't pardon something that kind of never happened because it never really happened. It just got erased. So you can't say that happened. You can't say sorry for something that never happened. That's the tricky part of all of this, obviously. So your letter was so beautiful, and I think we'll find a way to put that online with this, with this with this piece, put your letter there as a public record, because it really struck me as so beautifully written. You just say, I'm not asking for an apology, even though what you did, who wouldn't want to say, you know, whoa, we made a mistake. Not even, okay, you just said, I want an acknowledgement that that happened. That has not happened either. So this is accountability. This is our duty. This is our duty as people to be accountable and at least to say, yes, we did that. Mohammed is not even saying to say we're sorry for it, just that it happened. That's it. That's all we have to say. So we'll put your letter on this attached to this, so that people can read your incredibly generous, beautiful words to the sitting American president. Because you can always say, no, that was that guy. No, that was that guy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't do that. Okay, but what are we doing sitting here? You know, so we may not. So accountability is a very important word. It's a very important word. It doesn't mean guilt, but it means accountable. It's a real thing. So I'm so glad you wrote that beautiful letter, and we will put that as a public record. I think we just have to walk over to the White House and just deliver it ourselves.
Thank you.
We'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mohammed, we want to thank you. We're wrapping up here, but we wanted to see if you had any last words for the audience here.
Please say it again.
We're wrapping up here, but we wanted to see if you had any last words for the audience here.
Okay, yes. For me?
Yeah. Anything you wanted to say?
All right. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be with you guys. I wish I was there myself. So thank you for having me. And all I want to say, please don't forget there's still people behind bars in Guantanamo.
Can we please have a
Guantanamo
show of sound for Mohammed from the audience?
Please.
You can hear them.
Yes.
You can hear them. They all.
Please. Yes. So, thank you. Please still remember there's a people still behind bars.
Yes, we will think of them.
Let us push and talk and push the media for them to talk about it, for them to get justice. Because Guantanamo is a very bad place, and I always thinking about them, because I was thinking if I was still there, how is going to be my feeling? If I'm still in Guantanamo, what is my feeling? So I have people there, they are still there. So thank you so much.
Goodbye, Mohammed.
Thank you, Mohammed.
We're going to take off. We want to thank you again, and we're going to ask Kevin Young from the museum to close out the evening for us. So thank you, so we can go.
Thank you, Mom.
Let's give them all another round of applause. Let's give them all some more applause. I'm Kevin Young. I'm the director here at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and thank you all so much for this powerful conversation and thinking about the intersection of art making and social justice. That's the kind of conversation that the art and artifacts in this museum have long been engaged in, and as Laurie mentioned, going into the history galleries, there were so many resonances here tonight. I want to express my appreciation for each of the panelists. Laurie Anderson, of course. Let's give her a big round of applause. Kweku Mandela. Yeah. And let's give one more round of applause for Mohammed El Gharani, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you for sharing this deeply personal conversation about incarceration and human rights and this history that it's so important to know. I'm really excited that we were able to collaborate across the Smithsonian for this and have our Smithsonian family here tonight. I want to thank Melissa Chu and the incredible team at Hirshhorn for spearheading this effort. You know, this global conversation is so important to have. And I also want to thank the directors of the other collaborating units for their leadership and support. Thanks to Nairi Blankenberg, who's back there. Give a wave. From the National Museum of African Art. And Melanie Adams, the director of the Anacostia Community Museum. Yes. You know the saying, it takes a village, it takes a town, a mall, a whole Smithsonian to make things like this happen. We are so excited to be back together in person and to have the opportunity to thank you and share with you and our fellow museums in the spirit of collaboration. I finally want to thank the public programs team. Thank you very much, team. You see them here in the wings doing their wonderful things, and thanks to the theater director who you saw come out and have to deal with our technical issues here. This has been a wonderful night. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.